Sure am.
Hello, beloveds. I am here with Sister Helen Panos, and Helen. I cannot wait for y'all to for her to tell y'all what she does, and I am just so excited to be here with you, Helen. So, Helen, welcome to Love Revolution. Thank you for being a part of our community here and telling folks how you infuse your business with love. So, tell us about your business.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, first of all. And my business is Dynamis Learning. We're rebranding to Dynamis Learning. And actually, probably one of the first interviews I'm doing with that name. And so we are a K through 12 tutoring, SAT, ACT prep company. We do online writing workshops. We're basically bridging the gap between where your child is currently and where they want to go or where they need to be. And we know the last couple of years has caused some chaos, let's say, in education. So we are helping and adding in the rebranding part as the advocacy part, because you can no longer tutor and not advocate for students as well. And that means, navigating the school system, connecting with the child's teacher. It all takes a village. And so this is very powerful stuff. So it's working very well.
Yes, yes, I love it, love it, love it. What I know you are Greek, and I know Dynamis is Greek. What does that mean?
The state of that which is yet to be fully realized.
Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. I love your intentionality. And one of the ways, and one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you is because, number one, in the time that I've known you, I've watched you, Helen, grow and flourish. And now I've watched you and your business go really from Dynamis Tutoring, which was an in-person in Atlanta tutoring, to now an online nationwide tutoring. And now you've added this advocacy service. And that also is how you infuse it with love, because you're like, here's a gap, here are ways that I can love on folks. And so what made you decide to expand, and or what has been the response from your expansion, from seeing a need and meeting it?
So I think, well, of course, I think the last 2 years has caused an obvious gap. It's not just those 2 years. It probably was there before. Maybe let's just say the 2 years have brought it to light, I'd say, more so. And I think it's important that it's, there needs to be some relationships that need to be mended together, meaning the family, the child, the parent, and the school system. And right now we all know that the school system, they're having some difficulties, right? They can't hold teachers for a long period of time. If people are leaving, they're getting burned out, if the ones that are there. And they cannot really possibly do to their detriment here. They cannot really possibly do everything that is going to be needed in order to fix some of these things, that these gaps and these holes that you see. So that's mainly, I mean, I really actually, that was the original reason why I went into my own business and started the tutoring business 7 years ago. This is starting my 7th year. So I said to myself, I saw that already, somewhat at that point in time. And I felt like children needed real help, and it wasn't about the test, and it's not about, there's just a lot of differentiation going on that needs to be done, and that's not really feasibly possible. I think there's a myth out there that schools are going to help you fix everything that may be going on with your child, but that's really not true. I'm here to say it's not true.
Yeah. It's too much to expect one entity to do that.
Right. Exactly.
It really is. It really is. And that's another place where you're demonstrating love, because you are not perpetuating the silos of the student and the parents and the school, but you're bringing them all together. And in the advocacy piece, and even I know, even if you're not directly advocating for a student, you're teaching the student how to advocate for themselves, and you're teaching the student that you don't silo when you need help, that we're all coming around you, and how beautiful that is. The other thing that you do so well is you love on others. And so, like, I referred somebody to you, and it was somebody that I've never met somebody on Facebook who, I think they're in Tennessee, and they were looking for a tutor, and I was like, hey, my friend Helen does tutoring, and you know, so you send referral gifts, and then you are constantly bragging on your students and your tutors, and I absolutely love that. So what are other ways that you that you're intentional to infuse Dynamis learning with love?
Well, I'm glad you brought all that up, because there are many ways that you may not, I mean, more those for sure I do.
Yeah.
Purposely, I would not have a business right without my tutors. They are terrific. I self-pick them myself, so I'm very picky about who works for me. I want the highest quality possible. I've rarely had to let anybody go. Maybe one in the 7 years I've had somebody.
Yeah.
And I feel it's important to build relationships, whether that's
Yes.
part of the love in terms of the tutors, in terms of the parents, in terms of the kids. I enforce that when we have our meetings, quarterly meetings, when I'm talking to them individually. I enforce that with my new assistant as well. So all those relationships are based on trust. That leads
Yeah.
all that, leading from within. I listen to what my team members say. I hear their needs as well. If they have a personal issue going on, I immediately jump in and say, I'll take, you probably don't know this part, but I said, I'll come in and tutor for you. You take the day off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those are the
Wow.
things that I don't really talk about, but like I'm doing that for somebody in Johns Creek actually later today. And I'm
Wow.
finishing up the package for her because she had a medical issue that occurred. So things happen in people's life. I do offer a lot of appreciation to them. I send them a bonus in November. I send them a thank you card that goes out in the mail through, I think I use Postables. And I do the same with my parents too. I do it in November, before
Wow.
Thanksgiving. So I also have an ambassador program, which you don't know about, where I
Wow.
offer like monetary rewards and extra money to my tutors. I really appreciate educators.
Yeah.
We already know they don't get paid very much, so I refuse to pay them very little. That's the part other people don't know about, but I'll say that to my parents when I'm talking to them. If for some reason they think I'm a little pricey, which I'm not, because I'm right in line with everybody else. I've done my market research, but I will let them know that I appreciate these educators. They deserve
Yes.
to be paid correctly. And they are the future of this world. And then when I say those kinds of things, people are like, oh, yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Right.
So
Right.
I give
Right.
gifts, I'll give acts of kindness. I do an end of year. Now I just started that this past May. I did an end of year breakfast where I try to pull them all together,
Um,
the ones that could come, and I paid for them. I took one of my tutors out just recently for dinner. You might have seen that on Facebook, and she joined in and helped a young lady who was a 4.0 student that was failing a French 3 class that she had decided to take off of Georgia Virtual.
wow.
So Noelle stepped in, and I knew she had a lot of strengths in French. Her grandparents are French. They were actually in
Oh,
town while she was tutoring.
wow.
So she stepped in and did that, and I said, "You know what? I feel like you need more than what I paid you. So
Yes.
I'd like to take you to lunch or dinner sometime."
Um,
So I did that as well. Just I believe in acts of kindness, and one thing I know as an educator of 25 plus years is I know a lot of teachers gripe about their school system and their administration.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and one thing that's missing is all these kinds of things. And I
Yes.
know they have a huge group of people, but I have 18 tutors now, actually, Dr. Ross.
Wow. That's awesome, Helen. That's
And I
awesome.
mean, I used to manage 14. I think the highest number was 14 of my gifted teachers because I was the gifted lead at the school. So I would manage 14, but I would do the same thing. I would walk the building on my planning period and I'd go in and talk with them. How's it going? Just real quick because they're teaching, and hey, let me know if you need anything. I'd email them. But that's, I'm thinking about President Carter right now and how he is such an amazing leader and a great and faithful servant. So I lead with service and with
Yeah.
service
Service
and
leaders.
kindness and love. And then,
Yeah.
and that's what I feel like unfortunately is missing in the school systems and why maybe teachers are leaving.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why they're probably leaving.
Yeah. Well, I think they're leaving. I think many of them are leaving because they're not feeling loved. They don't feel loved by the students. They don't feel loved by the parents. They don't feel loved by the administration. They maybe even don't feel loved by their team because their team is so stretched in trying to dole out that they're not giving to each other. And all of that, Helen, is what you're addressing and infusing love back into, because most of your students, if not all of them, are current students, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they're coming to you for tutoring, but then they're back in the system, whether it's public school or private school. And so you're teaching them how to interact with folks. And then, you're teaching teachers that you want to support them and come alongside them. It truly is such a great microcosm of love. And I am so delighted that you've been here with me today, and can't wait for everybody to get a chance to meet you. And folks can reach out to you from all over the country, right?
Yes, we do virtual tutoring, SAT, ACT prep, and K through 12, all subjects. Wow. So we do that right now in California and Texas and Idaho. Those are the other states we're in right now. I even have tutors out of state that tutor back into Atlanta or to another state.
Oh, wow.
Because most of my tutors, if they move, they'll usually say to me, I'll still do it for you virtually.
Yeah.
Just because I'm moving to Dallas. I have one that's been with me for 4 years. I like to keep my tutors because I also know that consistency is key in success for kids. And that's probably part of the reason we're seeing what we're seeing as well in education, is if they can't keep the teachers in their positions, then there's no consistency. And the kids tend to not do as well. So I said, number one, I will get to know my tutors. I even get involved in their personal lives. If they're getting married, I send them a gift. If they're having a baby, I send them a gift. I say, send me pictures of, one was just in a wedding. I asked them to send me a picture. I said, send me a picture of you in your tux. I want to see you.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, Helen, you are a gift to me and you are a gift to this world. And thank you for the love that you put out to the world.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Love
spreading love, that's for sure. And we need a lot of that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I appreciate you so much. And beloveds, with that, that is our interview with Dynamis Learning and Helen Panos. And more Love Revolution talks are on the way. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.